Today's topic of discussion is motor unit. What is motor unit? Motor unit, each muscle is served by one or more motor nerve. Motor nerve means the nerve which is coming out from your spinal cord to supply different muscle fiber. And motor unit is known as number of muscle fibers supplied by one single motor neuron. So, what is motor neuron? One or more motor neuron consists of axon of hundred of motor neuron. What is motor nerve? Motor nerve is a structure which is having more than hundreds of motor neuron, and the axon of each motor neuron branches upon entering in the muscle. As you can see in the diagram, when a neuron is entering in the muscle fiber, they are entering in muscle fiber by having different branches of that neuron, and each branch of neuron ends at neuromuscular junction, the junction where nerve fibers, nerve branch is going to enter within the muscle, and the area where nerve is entering in the muscle fiber is known as neuromuscular junction. You can see in the diagram, it is clearly mentioned here. You can see the transverse cross-sectional area of spinal cord, and here one spinal nerve is coming out from the spinal cord and it is supplying different muscle fiber. It is clearly explained in this diagram. So, let us discuss what is motor unit. A single motor neuron and its associated muscle fiber is known as motor unit. What is the characteristic features of motor unit? From 4 to 100 of muscle fiber per motor unit. Okay, as I have told you, what is a motor neuron? Number of muscle fibers supplied by one single motor neuron. I would like to revise again. One nerve is coming from a spinal cord. From a spinal cord, it is going to enter within the muscle belly, and muscle is made up of thousands of fiber, and each fiber is supplied by a single branch of neuron. So, the number of muscle fiber which are supplied by a single neuron branches is known as motor unit. A motor unit can be small, it can be large. So, from 4 to 100 of muscle fiber per motor unit. It means a smaller motor unit may have only 4 muscle fiber which are supplied by one single motor neuron, and it may have 1000 fiber which may be supplied by one single motor neuron. So, second, multiple motor unit per muscle. Multiple motor unit per muscle, it means one muscle may have number of motor units. One muscle may have number of motor unit. No clustered within the muscle. Not clustered within the muscle, it means every motor unit is different from other motor unit. Firing of motor neuron causes contraction of all muscle fiber into motor unit. This is the principle of all or none law principle. When one neuron which is supplying number of muscle fiber, when that neuron will bring some stimulus, some motor stimulus, it will cause contraction of all muscle fiber which are supplied by that single motor neuron. So, muscle firing is dependent on the nerve impulses which are carried by that particular motor neuron. Not all muscle fiber of muscle. If it means, suppose a muscle fiber, a muscle has 10 number of motor units. For example, if a muscle has 10 number of motor units and only one neuron of one particular motor unit is bringing stimulus, so it will cause contraction of only that motor unit. It means all those muscle fiber which are supplied by that motor neuron will perform contraction. Other motor unit will not. It means कि muscle contraction is totally dependent on motor neurons. Entire muscle contract mean more motor unit, stronger contraction. Strength of muscle contraction is totally dependent on recruitment or firing of motor unit. When you want smaller or weaker contraction, you need to contract, you need to recruit, you need to fire less number of motor unit. When you want a stronger contraction, you need to recruit, you need to fire more number of motor units. It means strength of contraction is dependent on the firing of motor unit or recruitment of motor unit. How? Now we will discuss how our one motor unit responds to single action potential. What is action potential? Action potential is the depolarization. Depolarization means entering the outer signal within the nerve cell. When nerve cell will bring some stimulus, it will go to the muscle fiber and muscle fiber responds. So we will study here how these muscle fiber respond with response to your action potential. There are three phases. When any nerve is stimulated, it will bring signal to the muscle fiber and muscle fiber resulted in muscle contraction. This is the normal process. So how this process can be happen? We will discuss here. There are three phases under which one muscle fiber responds. Muscle contraction start from motor nerve, brings signal, reaches to the neuromuscular junction. From neuromuscular junction, the impulses will go to muscle fiber and the muscle fiber will contract. So in all process, what is happening there? We will discuss first. There are three phases. One is latent period. In latent period, few milliseconds following stimulation, muscle tension begin to increase. Second is period of contraction, 10 to 100 milliseconds, cross bridge is active, tension develop, muscle may shorten. Third is period of relaxation, 10 to 100 milliseconds, initiated by re-entry of calcium into sarcoplasmic reticulum, muscle tension decreases to zero. I am discussing the total event of muscle fiber or motor unit recruitment. As I have told you, motor unit recruitment is responsible for generation of tension in muscle. So when muscle will generate tension, the process starts from applying some stimulus over a motor nerve, either artificially by some electrical stimulator or by your own brain. When your brain think, I want to move some muscle, I suppose if I want to flex my elbow, it means my brain is stimulating the motor nerve which is controlling the contraction of biceps muscle. Clear? So my brain will order that specific motor neuron which causes the contraction of biceps, because my purpose is flexion of elbow. When I am going to flex my elbow, my motor nerve which is controlling the contraction and relaxation of biceps will be stimulated, and that nerve will bring signal. The signal will come. How? First is latent period. Few milliseconds following stimulation, muscle tension begin to increase. It means we have discussed in the neurophysiology, in the mechanism of nervous system, whenever we will apply any stimulus over motor nerve, either by intracellularly, by our own thinking or by external stimulus, it will bring signal to through the nerve to the muscle end, and muscle fiber will receive that signal and they cause muscle contraction. How muscle contraction takes place? It can be studied in three phases. First is latent period, second is period of contraction, and third is period of relaxation. Whenever any motor signal will reaches to the level of muscle fiber, first phase will be, the first response will be latent period. Few milliseconds following stimulation, muscle tension begin to increase. When any motor signal will reaches to the level of muscle fiber, it will stimulate. It will take few milliseconds to prepare. The muscle fiber will take few milliseconds to prepare for contraction, and within few milliseconds the fiber will start increasing tension. It means by shortening itself, by actin and myosin shortening, the muscle fiber will be shortened, actin and myosin will overlap, cross bridges will form, and when cross bridges will form, they will increases tension in the muscle belly. And the second phase of muscle or motor unit recruitment is period of contraction by different stroke produced by, as you remember the anatomy of muscle fiber, where actin and myosins are overlapping. There are some heads, cross bridges, they will bring myosin and actin closer and causes increased tension. So because of more closeness, because of actin and myosin overlap, because of formation of more cross bridges, the tension will develop and muscle will shorten. This period will take around 10 to 100 milliseconds. It means first phase, that is known as latent period, will be for only few milliseconds. The second phase of muscle contraction, which is known as period of contraction, where there are maximum number of cross bridges formed between actin and myosin, as well as muscle length or sarcomeal length is going to be shortened. So because of shortening of sarcomeal length as well as cross bridges formation between actin and myosin, the tension is developed. As you can see in the graph, whenever we are going to plot a graph between tension and time, you can see here within few milliseconds, 1 to 3, as it is clear in graph, within 0 to 3 or 5 milliseconds, muscle start increasing in tension, and at the level of around 40 to 50 milliseconds, their muscle can achieve maximal amount of tension. This maximal tension is because of cross bridges formation between actin and myosin, and tension develop and muscle sarcomeal length get shortened. And after achieving maximum tension, the muscle is going for relaxation. And why muscle is going for relaxation? The time for, as you can see in the diagram, in that graph, the time for relaxation ranges from around 10 to 100 milliseconds, depending on the nature of work, depending on the number of motor unit recruited. So period of relaxation ranges from 10 to 100 milliseconds. And how muscle contraction is going to be relaxed? It is because we have discussed in the physiology of muscle, muscle relaxation after contraction is because it is initiated by re-entry of calcium ions into sarcoplasmic reticulum. We have discussed in the physiology of muscle contraction, it is the calcium. If it comes out from sarcoplasmic reticulum and bind with the cross bridges of myosin, tropomyosin of the myosin, it can bring actin and myosin closer by different stroke. But when that calcium will again go back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum, it will again remove the cross bridges between actin and myosin, and because of removal of actin or going apart of actin and myosin, muscle gets relaxed, and ultimately muscle tension decreases to the level of 0. This is the mechanism how muscle achieve from 0 level tension to maximum tension, and again it come back to the 0 degree relaxation. So this is the complete function of motor unit. Clear? When we will talk about motor unit, we can perform different type of work. When we perform our work from morning to evening, we are gone through different type of work, different severity of work, intensity of work. When we are going to perform some smaller work, lighter work, we need to use few number of motor unit. When we are going to perform any heavy work, like hard work, we need to recruit some more motor units or more number of motor units. It can be explained by depending on the, suppose I am giving you an example, suppose if you want to lift a pin, if the weight of pin is very less, so you need to recruit few fiber, few motor units, or maybe 1 or 2 motor units, because you are going to perform lighter work. But when you are going to lift a weight of 20 kg by your biceps, by any of your muscle, it means you need to generate maximal force, so you need to recruit more number of motor units. So recruitment of motor unit or use of motor unit is dependent upon the type of work. When you need to perform lighter work, you need to use less amount of motor units in your muscle fiber. When you are going to perform heavy work, you need to use more number of motor unit. Now we will discuss some important terminologies which can be used to understand the muscle fiber and its role in, or muscle motor unit and its role in muscle contraction. First and most important is muscle twitch. What is muscle twitch? Twitch contraction of some muscle, e.g. muscle controlling eye movement. What is twitch contraction? The contraction in which you can completely differentiate between muscle contraction phase and muscle relaxation phase. And some muscle contract more slowly and remain contracted for longer period, like calf muscle. As you can see in the diagram, some muscle like blinking eyes, you are continuously doing it. So this is the twitch contraction, where there is a proper ratio between contraction and relaxation. The time between achieving maximum tension in the muscle and releasing tension in the muscle is appropriate, or there should be proper ratio. But some muscle contraction time could be more than resistance time, like all anti-gravity muscle. When you are walking, when you are sitting in wrong posture, they are always contracted. So for those muscle, the contraction time may be more and relaxation time should be less. Some muscle contract more slowly and remain contracted for longer period, and some muscle can contract fastly but relax fastly. So there are few motor units in our body where latent period is very less, then again period of contraction is very less, period of relaxation is very less. Within few milliseconds, muscle achieve the complete contraction and again come back in the relaxation phase. For example, the muscle controlling eye movement. So because eye are all precise movement, like hand muscle, thinner muscle, when you are doing any fine movement, for any fine movement you need a sudden change. When suppose you are drying, in drying you need some sudden change, fast change. So muscle should be able to contract and relax fastly. So the period of contraction and period of relaxation should be faster for all those work which require precision, which require fine quality of movement, fine change in direction, and some movement which needs heavy work for long time. In that type of muscle, the time of muscle contraction is larger. Suppose it will take, the muscle fiber or motor unit will take large time to go to the maximum tension, and when it will achieve maximum tension, it will again take more time to come back in relaxation position. For example, calf muscle. Now come to graded response. What is graded response? Normal muscle contraction. Normal muscle, when you say that the muscle is contracting normally, when you will say the muscle is contracting normally, for normal muscle contraction there should be something. First is the contraction should not be jerky. Suppose this type of contraction is jerky, and this is jerky contraction, jerk like movement, it is not normal movement, not normal contraction. But when you are doing movement like this, it is a normal contraction of biceps muscle. You can see the muscle is contracting, shortening, and relaxing. It means you can easily differentiate between when muscle is going to contract and when muscle is going to relax. But when you are doing any jerky movement, you will not be able to differentiate between when muscle is contracting or when muscle is relaxing. So for normal muscle, the contraction should not be jerky. Second thing, the contraction should be relatively smooth. Third is vary in strength based on demand. The muscle contraction should vary in strength based on demand. What is this? Suppose when you are going to lift some lighter thing, it means the demand is light. Demand is performed to light work. So you should use some of motor unit to lift that object. It means demand was lighter, so your response was lighter. When you are going to lift some heavy things, you should give some, your contraction should be stronger. The muscle contraction should be stronger. You should recruit more number of motor unit. So when you are going to perform normal muscle contraction, the normal muscle contraction should be dependent on the demand base. Demand base for lighter work, less motor unit. For heavy work, more motor unit. Suppose if I am going to lift some pen, I will use smaller. But if you are going to lift a pen and you are applying like this, it is not a normal movement. When a person, a subject or an individual is lifting a weight of 50 gram and he is using his both hand and pushing whole effort to lift like this. Suppose if I am going to lift this mobile and I am lifting like this, it means I am not doing normal contraction. But if I am trying to lift this podium with my one finger, it is also not a normal contraction. So normal, we will say normal contraction if we are doing our effort based on demand. We are recruiting our motor unit based on the demand of work. And next is graded muscle response. What is graded muscle response? We will discuss in the next chapter. Number of type of muscle fiber. Types of muscle fiber mean we have different types of muscle fiber. And we have classified those muscle fiber on the basis of their shape, size and mechanism of energy utilization for their work. So graded response is known as when you are going to perform some activity, initially you should recruit the smaller one. If smaller motor units or smaller muscle fibers are not able to perform that movement, you should recruit the moderate one to perform that movement. If they are feeling they need more help, then you should recruit faster one or heavier one or larger one to perform that movement. This type of muscle fiber or motor unit recruitment is known as graded responses. Graded mean start from lighter, come to moderate, then come to the major or severe. This type of response is known as graded response. So in our body, when we are doing any work voluntarily, we follow this type of muscle response. Initially, we use less number of motor units, slow fibers to perform that movement. If we feel, no, this effort is not sufficient to perform that movement, so we can use some moderate fibers, some moderate motor units, some more motor units. Even after that, using moderate motor unit, if we are feeling, no, this is not sufficient, this effort is not sufficient, so we recruit more number of motor units to perform that task. And this type of recruitment of motor unit is known as graded response. And how can we achieve graded muscle response? Graded muscle response can be achieved by two things. First is by altering the frequency of stimulation and by altering the strength of stimulation. What is frequency of stimulation? Frequency means speed of contraction and relaxation. And what is the strength of the stimulus? Effort, maximum amount of effort. This is the frequency, and this is suppose if I am doing like this, this is the frequency of contraction relaxation. less frequency of contraction and relaxation. When I am moving my hand like this, it means I am contracting and relaxing my biceps. In this type of contraction and relaxation, the frequency of biceps contraction and relaxation is less. But when I am doing like this, the frequency of contraction and relaxation is more. So when we want to perform any graded response, suppose if I am going for some sprinting like competition, so the frequency of muscle contraction and relaxation, the more frequency, the higher speed. When the frequency of muscle contraction and relaxation will be higher, we can run faster. Second thing, altering the strength of stimulus mean we can recruit more and more number of motor units. Try to understand difference. What is the difference between frequency and intensity? We can control, we can achieve the graded response by two factors. Either by changing the frequency of muscle response or by changing the intensity of muscle response. Frequency means the speed of contraction and relaxation should be faster. So when we are going to achieve speed, when we are participating in any sports event which need speed, so in those cases we increase the frequency of stimulation of motor unit. So by increasing the frequency of stimulation of motor unit, we can achieve contraction and relaxation of motor unit faster. So we can perform in that specific sport faster, like sprinting. When you are a sprinter has adopted, they have trained their motor units to stimulate them at higher frequency, so they can run faster. Second is we can control, we can achieve the graded response by altering the strength of stimulus. Strength of stimulus means the more motor units are recruited, the more motor units you are using for performing any work, the strength of muscle contraction will be more. Suppose if you are going to lift some lighter object, you need to recruit some of motor units. But if you want to increase the strength of stimulus, it means you need to recruit more number of motor units. And the muscle force of muscle contraction, the strength of muscle contraction will be dependent on the recruitment of motor unit. When you, suppose if you are going for weightlifting is sports where you need more strength of your muscle, and for lifting a heavy weight, you should recruit more number of muscle fiber or more number of motor unit. So by increasing recruitment of more number of motor unit, you can increase the strength of or intensity of stimulus. It means in one effort your more number of motor units are recruited. Now we will discuss how these motor units respond to stronger stimuli. Stronger stimuli mean wave summation increase contractile force. Wave summation. What is wave summation? I will try to explain you. Muscle contraction is suppose this is muscle fiber and this is nerve. Nerve is bringing signal to the muscle and it causes, when signal will reaches to the level of muscle fiber, it will cause contraction. Summation mean adding up. One contraction, suppose one contraction comes, one wave comes and cause, suppose this is a muscle. The more tension, the more force. The more tension will be generated. Tension means shortening. Tension generated in muscle because of shortening. Suppose one stimulus, one wave comes via nerve and causes contraction of muscle. 1, again 2, again comes 3. Clear? Suppose this is a muscle fiber, this is the length of sarcomere, this is the length from distance of this finger to this finger is the length of sarcomere. And when sarcomeres will shorten, it will cause more amount of cross bridge formation, and because of more amount of cross bridge formation, the muscle fiber will generate more force or more tension. So what happened? Suppose this is a nerve is bringing signal, apply here and cause contraction. Now this sarcomere length is shorter than before. Again second impulse will come, again shorten. Third come, again shorten. It means summation. With every wave, with every impulse, the sarcomere length is going to be shortened and shortened and shortened. And because of shortening and because of more cross bridges formation, because when it is actin and myosin, one is myosin, when it is in relaxation stage, it is like this, they are farther. But when nerve will bring signal, it will cause like this. Suppose 5 cross bridges, again come here, 10 cross bridges. So when actin and myosin will come closer, they will form more and more cross bridges, and because of more and more cross bridges, the more muscle tension will be generated, the more muscle strength will be generated. And this maximum strength generation is because of summation effect, summative effect. What is summation? With every wave, with every nerve signal, it will cause pushing the actin towards myosin and ultimately resulted in cross formation. Main function is to produce smooth continuous contraction. Force of contraction increased by multiple motor unit summation. Force of contraction, as you can see in the diagram, force of contraction increased by multiple motor unit summation. Multiple motor, I have told you, one muscle fiber. Suppose biceps, it may have number of motor units. Suppose for example 10, 20, 100, whatever. Clear? And all motor units are supplied by a single motor neuron. When signals are coming via motor neuron, all fiber will recruit. Suppose you are doing some work, I am doing some work. Suppose in a room, in a group, there are 5 persons. In a group, there are 5 persons to perform any work. And one person is doing some work, other person is doing some work, third is doing some work, fourth is doing some work. It means that all 5 are doing some portion of work. And when you add, when you summate all work, it will be resulted in more work. Same as here, there are number of motor units in one muscle and there are number of fiber in one motor unit. Try to understand it. There are number of motor units in one muscle, same as there are number of fiber in one motor unit. And with every contraction of, suppose all fiber of one motor unit are contracted, all fiber of other motor unit are contracted, and when you summate the contraction of all motor unit of that muscle, it will cause a stronger contraction. This type of phenomenon is known as multiple motor unit summation. Threshold stimulus recruit first motor unit, maximal stimulus recruit all of the muscle motor unit. Try to understand what is threshold stimulus and what is maximal stimulus. I have given example. Suppose this is biceps muscle. Biceps muscle may have, suppose for example, it has 10 motor unit. Biceps muscle is made up of 10 motor unit. Nerve is supplied that biceps. Biceps is supplied by a nerve. When that nerve will bring signal, and one nerve may have number of motor neuron, one nerve is having number of motor neuron, and each neuron is supplying one motor unit. Clear? So when we are going to contract our biceps, suppose if we apply only threshold level. What is threshold? Minimum amount of stimulus required to achieve response, required to produce contraction in muscle. when we apply threshold level, threshold mean minimum amount of effort. What is threshold? Threshold is minimum amount of effort to produce some response. Same as what is maximal stimulus? Maximal stimulus mean you are applying maximal effort. For example, if I am going to flex my elbow, when I am flexing my elbow, I am applying only threshold level. Threshold mean the stimulus, the effort applied by motor nerve, which should be able to flex my elbow. Suppose if I am flexing my elbow against gravity, I need little greater effort. But if I am flexing my elbow in this position, it means again it is not against gravity. When I am doing like this, I am bringing my forearm against gravity. When I am flexing my elbow in this position, it means the gravity is not acting against biceps. So minimal amount of stimulus is required to perform that movement, so all the motor units of biceps will not be recruited. You can feel the tension when you are doing like this. Feel the tension, and again should lift some 5 kg weight and do like this. Feel the tension. Definitely you will feel different amount of tension in both type of activity. When you perform your elbow flexion in this posture, and when you are performing your elbow flexion with 5 kg weight, the tension generated within the muscle belly of biceps will be totally different. And this tension difference is because of different type of stimulus. Here you are not applying, you are applying minimal amount of stimulus, so motor unit will be responding minimally. Less tension will be generated, less motor unit will be recruited to perform this movement. But when you are going to lift some heavy weights like 5 kg, 10 kg, increasing the weight will cause increasing the tension. Increase the weight, increase the tension. It means when you are applying maximal stimulus, you will get maximum response by motor unit. When you apply minimum tension, you will get minimum response by your motor unit. So motor unit force contraction by muscle fiber or motor unit is dependent on the type of stimulus. When you apply smaller stimulus, you will get a smaller response by few of motor units. When you apply heavy stimulus, stronger stimulus, you will get a stronger response by your motor unit. So how we can use these knowledge of motor unit in physical education? We are training our athlete, we are training our sport personnel, we are treating our sport personnel for different types of sports, and all sports are not same, they are different from other sports. So by having complete understanding of motor units, we can train different motor unit needs based on the different types of sports. Clear? So motor unit is a very important component of physical education. So having complete knowledge by having complete graded response, type of stimulus, intensity of stimulus, frequency of stimulus, by having full control over all these parameters, we can effectively use all these knowledge for training of our sport personnel. Thank you.